this Gothic birthday cake. I liked the design so well, I just had to share it with you. So here we've got mini black roses and little skulls. My husband's favorite part was this pile of bones. And then I hand sculpted this skull. Inside is Rice Krispie treats, yum! Together with some neon green spider webs and other designs, along with airbrush skull and graveyard. I think it really turned out cool. So this video is going to show you how I put that all together. Starting out with some vanilla cake and vanilla buttercream, I'm going to put a very thin layer just to guard it from the fruit juices, because I'm going to be layering fruit on it. I have strawberries, blackberries, and raspberries, freshly washed and ready for stuffing. I'll put it in a nice little pattern. Oh my goodness, doesn't that look so delicious? Here's the first layer. I'll make a buttercream border and layer whipped cream on the inside. Second layer, third layer, and a thin crumb coat, which is just a layer of buttercream to keep the crumbs on the cake. This cake is going to be topsy-turvy or lopsided, whichever you like to call it. After I chill the cake for about an hour, I'm going to take my knife and cut the top off at an angle. You can see I have a little piece of tape on my knife. That's because I'm just measuring the depth so I can get the back the same as the front, so it's nice and level. That's where I'm going to be setting the 6-inch cake. I will cut and carve that out. It's a little messy, but we'll get her done. Put a layer of buttercream on and chill it in the fridge. This is the 6-inch cake. It is a lemon cake with a buttercream border and lemon filling. I recently published a video on how to make this delicious lemon curd filling. Check that out. This cake has been chilling in the fridge overnight because I want it nice and hard when I drape the black fondant over it. I put a little hole in the fondant so I can squeeze the air out. I don't worry about that little hole because the 6-inch cake is going to go right on top of it and cover it up. Smooth the edges out with my fondant smoother. I cut this little graveyard template out of parchment paper. And with white airbrush paint, I'm trying to create a misty, eerie look for the graveyard. For the skulls and bones, I have a little mold here. Press those into place. Then I stick it in the freezer. I find that they pop out much easier if they're frozen. Then with a little brown airbrush paint, I'll spray the skulls just a bit. Then with royal icing, I'm gonna stick that pile of bones onto the cake. Before I put this pile all the way to the bottom, I'm going to create a border out of scrolls and fondant flowers. I'm just alternating the two. This template I made myself. I just found an image off of Google, and then with an X-Acto knife, I carved the skulls out of the plastic Mylar folder. I'm using white airbrush paint to paint in the design. Now I'm pressing the scroll design into the fondant so I know where to pipe. This is a spooky little mold. I don't remember where I got it. Amazon or eBay or something. Anyway, I thought it looked really cool, this female skull. With neon green, I'll fill in the skeleton's face, and then black for the background. Little cameo, I'll stick it on the cake. With a really small star tip, I believe this is a number 16. I'm going to pipe over those lines. With that same tip, I'll add some swags at the top of the cake. And just like strings, I'm letting those drop into place.
I'll put 2 or 3 little shells at the connecting points. Now, with some neon green royal icing, I'm going to pipe little teeny swags on top of the big one. I'll also overpipe the scroll designs by this skull. Now for the spider webs. I'm piping these lines all different lengths and directions because spider webs are not symmetrical. This is a free template from Man About Cake. That's a fun little channel also. I've shaped all the pieces out of modeling chocolate. And now with melted chocolate, I'm gluing them all together onto the cake. I'm using chocolate because it dries quickly, whereas royal icing does not. I'll continue to put those into place. Now I'm going to shade my little friend here. I actually sculpted him out of Rice Krispie treats. Sorry I didn't take a video of that. I'm also taking a paper towel to smooth that paint a little bit. Then I'll take a very fine paintbrush with some black food coloring on it and fill in the cracks to darken those up. Then with some royal icing, I'll stick him on the top of the cake. I'm sticking some fondant roses right next to him too. There we go, a spooky Gothic Halloween cake. Also, check out the other Halloween cakes I've made in the past. I'll have them in the little eye up in the corner. As always, thank you so much for watching, and you are welcome to leave me a comment. Bye!